Hi everybody and welcome to the Year 2 Meet the Teacher. This video will give you a little insight into the routines, the expectations, and you'll also get to meet the Year 2 team. I'm just going to pop myself up into the corner and then we can move on. So this is the Year 2 team. So we have Miss Shelper, we have Mrs. Phillips, and they are our LSAs. Mrs. Phillips we have in with us in the mornings and the afternoons. However, Miss Shelper is just in with us during the afternoons. And you can also see Mrs. Roberts here. So Mrs. Roberts covers me on a Friday all day. Mrs. Roberts will be teaching and Mrs. Phillips will be supporting her. I am in school on Fridays. However, as I'm part of the senior leadership team, I have other tasks and monitoring that I have to do around the school. In terms of the ethos and the learning environment that I encourage, we talk a lot about being positive and discussing growth mindset. So here you can see the learning pit, and this is something that children are used to. This is something that was used in year 1 with Miss Baskett, and it's something we will continue to use. We will also be reminding children about putting a positive spin on negative feelings at times and negative phrases, and that's specifically to work. So if children are saying, I'm not good at this, I can't do this, we will try and spin it so that we can get them to think about what part are you finding challenging and what do you need to do in order to support yourself, whether that's going to ask a teacher, ask a friend, or get some resources. It's all about encouraging independence and resilience and just being positive and enjoying the learning that you're doing. So some of those phrases are things that you might hear your children talking about. And in terms of the behaviour and the expectations placed on behaviour, we will still be using going for gold in order to celebrate successes. So children can still get to gold. The only difference is that they don't go to Mrs. Randall and Mr. Kinnear. Mrs. Randall and Mr. Kinnear come to us. There will still be Friday celebration assemblies. However, it will be on a video as well, and we share this in class, and children still get to come up to the front of the class and we clap and celebrate that success. Children still have golden time. However, in year 2, we have golden points. So in year 1, they had pom-pom points, and in year 2, we have golden points. So I'll talk a little bit more about golden points in a bit. But golden time happens across the school on a Friday afternoon. However, children in year 2 have to achieve a certain amount of golden points in order to get that, which in their first week back, they easily achieved. And here are our golden points. So what we did on one of the first few days in year 2 is we decided on what rules we wanted to focus on. So you can see that we've got 5 there, and we've actually left space for one more, just so that we could see what things we needed to focus on as we settled in more into year 2. So these rules link to our school values about respect, responsibility, and aspiration. And what we do each week is we decide how many golden points we want to achieve. So during our first week back, we aimed for 20 and we bypassed that easily. So this week we're going for 30, and this photo was taken at the beginning of Monday. So you can see that we've got 4 golden points already, and I have no doubt that we're going to achieve our 30 golden points by Friday lunchtime so that they can have golden time on Friday afternoon. So this is a team effort. This is not about individual behaviours and praise links to our going for gold. This is more about our team effort and what we need to do as a team in order to achieve our golden points. And here is an example of what a typical day in year 2 looks like. We always start our day with a go noodle. At times that could be a dance, sometimes it's a workout, but it's a really nice way to wake us all up and to get us in a really positive mind frame ready to learn. So we usually spend the first few parts of our day doing writing and reading, being authors. Then we have a break time, and then we do maths, we become mathematicians. And because we have a short time in between our break time and our lunch time, we usually finish our mathematician learning after lunch as well. Um, every day we do silent reading. During this time, I'm reading with children, and then we go on to inquiry. And due to the staggered lunches, we have a very long afternoon. So, in order to accommodate for that, we also have a short afternoon break as well. And then sometimes we do inquiry and then story time. But on other days, instead of inquiry, we might have PE or computing. So that's just what a typical day might look like. Our PE days are Wednesday afternoons and Friday mornings. Now, the main focus for term one, we are placing huge emphasis on children's feelings and them communicating that. So here you can see one of the boards in our room. The heading is How Are You Feeling? We've spoken a lot about different emotions, and what we're doing each week is choosing an emotion, talking about what that might feel like and what we can do in order to not feel that way. Something else that we're focusing on in term one is being successful. So we're recapping some of the learning that children did in year one or they did as part of their home learning. Um, and one positive thing is that it reminds children about the things that they did, but also it's providing them with successes rather than us just moving straight on to year two work, which at this moment might be a little bit too challenging for some. So it's important for them to feel success and be proud of themselves. And alongside that, we're going to be focusing on some other learning behaviours. So things like resilience, perseverance, being imaginative, understanding others, and reflective, just to name a few of them. But that's some of the elements that we will be focusing on alongside the academics, which we can go on to now. So this is our year two medium term plan that you can find on our year two page on the website. It's a breakdown of week by week the skills that we will be focusing on. So you can see that we're revising a lot of the phonics that they would have done in year one before moving on to year two phonics. We're just getting children back into the habit of reading more and having more access to books in school. In terms of our writing, we're just building up the stamina to write and recapping things like full stops, capital letters, using our sounds to write, using things in our classroom to support us with what sounds that we need. We're going to be using On Sudden Hill as a story to hopefully encourage writing. And in terms of maths, we're focusing a lot on number, place value, and addition and subtraction. In PE, it's personal skills, again, just focusing on ourselves and following instructions and listening. And we're also, in terms of inquiry, before we move on to a year two inquiry, we are recapping the artistic skills that they've missed out on in year one, their scientist skills, and some of the historian skills as well. So lots of exciting things to look forward to for them. Reading. So some things are the same as they were in year one, it's just to recap. So every child is expected to bring their book bag in each day, and in their book bag should be their reading record. So children will read on different days to different people, and it's really important that their book bag is in school so that they can do that. In terms of when children can change their books, so when they come into our classroom in the morning, we ask them, does anyone need to change their books? They also get given silent reading time to change their books, and also at the end of the day, just before story time, we remind them again and ask, does anyone need to change their books? So if you're noticing that your child is not changing their book, please let me or Mrs. Phillips know, and we will prompt them and make sure that happens. And in terms of reading prizes, that's the same as year one. So in their reading record, we will look on a Friday, or Mrs. Roberts will look on a Friday during golden time, and she will look to see once a child has read 5 times, so read on 5 different days, have it signed by an adult each of those days, and children can choose a prize from our prize box. And we're doing this to encourage, because we want children to read as much as they can at home. Okay, just a little something to make you aware of. I'm sure some of you may already be aware of this, but at the end of year two, children are expected to do stats. So they will be sitting papers that test their reading and their maths. That's at the end of May next year. When I've done stats with children before, I really don't place much emphasis on it. In the past, we called them secret agent tasks, and we've made it into a bit of a fun thing. They sit in small groups, but it's just something that I wanted to make you aware of. And as well, as children missed out in year one on doing their phonics screening test, at the moment they are being asked to do it in December of this year. So that's why it's really important that we're recapping all the sounds. And again, that won't be made into a big thing. It'll be something they come out of class and do with me. I'll just be asking them to read real words and alien words. But if you are curious and want to know a little bit more about that, feel free to catch me at the end of the day or send me an email via the office. That's absolutely fine. So home learning books, you would have seen on Friday that your child came home with a red book, and that's their home learning book. So in the front cover, there are logins for their TT Rockstars to practice their times tables, and purple mash to play on a range of educational games. What you will have in their book every single week is there will be spellings. So children are expected to practice these spellings at home, and there are some tips here just in case you're curious as to how we would encourage children to do that, and I will make sure that this is up on the website as well. And those spellings children will be tested on them on a Wednesday afternoon. This is something new. Children didn't have a spelling test in year one, but I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine. So that's their home learning book. And some of the health and safety that we're doing in school in order to make school as safe as we possibly can is we are washing our hands during lots of different transitions throughout the day. And if we're not washing them, we're hand sanitizing them. We are staying in our year bubbles. We have our certain areas at break times, and we go into the lunch hall at certain times. Children have their own pencil cases. They're clear pencil cases which have a pencil, a whiteboard pen, and a ruler in, and that's kept to themselves. And we are regularly disinfecting any of the resources that we are using, mostly maths resources. And any reading books that are being brought back into school, we have a quarantine box that we put them into, and we keep them in there for 72 hours until we put them back into our own library in our book corner before another child chooses them and they go back out again. So thank you all so much for listening to all that information. I hugely appreciate it. If you do have any questions about anything I've mentioned or anything that maybe I haven't mentioned, then please click on this link here and it will take you to a Padlet where you can type in your questions and I will be there waiting to reply. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the support you've given your child transitioning back into school. And hopefully I'll be able to chat to you all soon. So bye, thanks for listening.